as always, here starting off camp with Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer, and I don't even know what year this is for camp for you. We're in the 30s. Do you even keep count anymore?
I don't. It's just great to be here. I can tell you that. I always look forward to it, and such a special time of year to be kicking off our season. And of course, so blessed to get to be a part of the NFL, the game, football. What a new season brings. Obviously, hope springs eternal. We're as optimistic as we've ever been about our football team and the team that we have in place right now. Certainly, I'm sure there'll be changes as we move forward in terms of what we may add or lose along the way. But we're fired up about this season and look forward to a successful season.
Before we talk about some of those changes you mentioned, I always want to ask you about this is nothing new for the Cowboys being in California, but does it ever amaze you when you get out here and you just see this rapid fan base that's here and they live out here and they just can't wait for you guys to get here?
Well, it is. I mean, it's very fortunate. We've always had a great fan base going all the way back to the beginnings when the Cowboys would come out to Thousand Oaks with Tex Schramm and his group of guys and the teams that they put together then, certainly the all-time greats like Roger Staubach, Bob Lilly, great players that built the platform for this organization. It's the shoulders we stand on today, certainly a coach like Tom Landry, a general manager like Tex Schramm. All those are part of a very rich history of the Dallas Cowboys and certainly built that fan base out here in California. And certainly we have nothing but the greatest respect for the Rams and the Chargers and appreciate certainly, if you will, Stan Kroenke and the Spanos family turning the other cheek in terms of letting us come into the market here. But we certainly do have our share of fans, but we're also certainly in a great situation there in terms of the amazing building, SoFi Stadium, and the Rams and the Chargers having really being entrenched out here in Southern California and Los Angeles.
Obviously, football with the fans, they're so excited about it. But as you said, it is a business. Camp started earlier this week. Zack Martin was not here, a part of it. Can you speak to that at all? And also, if he's not, available there at the right guard position, what doors that opens up for others?
Well, first of all, the business is the tough part of our business. Obviously, it's the foundation in terms of, certainly we've got a great labor agreement, but when you get into the details of the business, most teams, if you look around the league, have forms of business going on in terms of their training camps. As we all know, we have nothing but the greatest respect for Zack Martin, what he stands for. He's always done things the right way. He's been a great soldier, a great teammate, a great leader for this organization. When an owner, a GM, draft a player, you only hope they turn out like Zack Martin. He's had a Hall of Fame career. Certainly, we know he'll be wearing a gold jacket. This is just the tough part of the business. At the same time, as you said, where he plays is an area where we do need, to develop some young guys. And certainly Zack's been in a lot of training camps, probably doesn't need the work as much as most. That goes without saying, but it will be great to see some young guys get some repetitions out there. Certainly hope to improve to a level if you do have, injuries along the way during the season that, they'll put themselves in even a better position to be more productive if we have to count on one of these interior guys to step up and be an integral part of, a playoff run, if you will, and hopefully a successful playoff run.
I'm going to take you back to several years ago, in the middle of the 1990s, with one of the famous stories of you and Jerry getting into it a little bit about signing Deion Sanders for about $7 million a year, a $35 million contract. Here we are now, $100 million deal for Trayvon Diggs. Talk about that. Obviously, the cornerback market and all the markets have changed, but does it take you back a little bit what the price is and what it is now?
Well, I'm sure those older players certainly understand that and wish that's just how it works. Whether it's a Bob Lilly, as we mentioned, and a Roger Staubach, looking at what Troy Aikman made, then Romo, then Dak. The market changes. That's great for the league, and certainly great for the economics, not only for the players but for the owners, for the people who are involved, whether it be you and I, whether it be coaches, whether it be whoever's involved in our business. That's certainly a positive in terms of how the league has grown economically. And certainly I hope our fans feel this way, that we certainly reinvest that money in our product, in the game, in a game that they want to continue to have passion for, follow, and be a part of. So I think it's nothing but a plus, and hopefully this game just continues on the same path it's been on.
You said we get to training camp, you hope to get one or two done, those contracts. You guys aren't finished yet. I would imagine still working on some of these others.
Well, that never stops, especially if you're doing your job right in terms of drafting great young players, which Will McClay and his group, accompanied with the rest of the organization. I think we continue to put good drafts together, continue to bring good young players in. We certainly got guys like a C.D. Lamb, obviously a Micah Parsons starting to raise his head. He came in with Diggs yesterday to sign his contract and had a little fun with Micah. I said, don't be expecting this kind of money, Micah, and he laughed. And we all know where that's probably going, but that's what happens when you draft well. Certainly, our goal is to draft, develop, and re-sign to long-term deals, and that'll continue to be our goal as we continue to develop young players into rising stars in the NFL.
Real quick, we talked about fans, we talked about the business side. What's a position that you are excited about, eager to look at once the we really get going here and when the pads come on?
Well, I think certainly seeing Mozzie develop in the interior of our defensive line. We got Hankins there. I know Dan's fired up about a big package. What we do well is certainly rush the passer and turn the ball over. We can certainly improve in the running game. That's why we drafted Mozzie. If we can get them into those second and third and longs, then that should play into our hands in terms of what we do well as a defense. So certainly excited to see how that comes along. Question marks, obviously we've got to find a kicker that we can count on when the time comes. So it'll be interesting to watch the kicking competition. As I always mention, player acquisition's 365 days a year. So these two kickers in here not only competing against one another, but other players in the league as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that battle shapes out, and then certainly seeing how guys like a Gilmore and a Cooks fit in with this football team. We have obviously we gave up resources and money to have those guys on our team when we traded for them, and I really think they can be a big difference makers in terms of making us a better football team.
Awesome. Well, I know you're busy. Thanks for stopping by. Stephen Jones, Cowboys Chief Operating Officer. We'll be catching up with you later in camp.
Sounds great, Nick.
All right.